Oh my gosh. Hi, hello, welcome. Welcome back to the Chris and Veronica show. My name is Chris and this is...
Veronica, because apparently somebody needs to learn to say, hey, we're going to start.
We're starting. There's music. It's a whole thing.
We got to work on this. It's called teamwork.
It is teamwork, yes. ChrisandVeronica.com. That's where we're at. You probably found us online somewhere. It's either on like, what?
I was going to say, and don't forget to look at all the videos, all the little clips.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the water heathens.
Ooh, yeah.
Apparently that's been attacking a lot of people.
Yeah, the social media stuff. There's a lot of social media stuff going on right now. There's a lot of social. So we have like so many things on social media right now. I can't even. It's great. I love it. All these little like clippy thingies. It's great. Mm-hmm. What are we talking about today, Veronica? We are unscripted. So
you know what? I think we should have a session where we ask each other advice of how to deal with certain things.
What do you think of my hat? It's the best hat ever, huh? You like it?
I feel like I'm having vibes. Like I just need you to see. I need you to see. Ooh,
what?
Chris Hawkins, is that who? Is that the skater boy?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. I can
Tony
see.
Hawk?
Yes.
Yeah, Tony Hawk. No, so look, it's one of these. It's a sporty hat. Look.
When you
It's
turn
a
it
sporty
around,
hat.
I get vibes of you in vans and skateboards.
Yes,
So if
that's
you had
me.
some-
I'm
no.
a van skateboard person. Yeah,
We would not be friends.
skateboarding. That's what I do. If you're listening to this on audio, I'm wearing a fun hat. And it is from, what's the name of the hockey team in Seattle? This
Kraken?
one? Kraken, yes.
No,
It's a Kraken
Kraken.
hat. Yes,
Yes,
that's
it
correct.
is.
Yes,
It's
this is a
hockey.
Kraken hat. So yeah, Kraken hockey.
Ooh, look,
It's a
I
fun
got
one.
that right.
And
Yay.
it's their Pride Night hat. Whoop, whoop. So
Wow,
it's
that
a
is
super gay hat.
awesome.
It's a super gay
okay.
hat.
That's what makes it super gay?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I got it at Pride Night.
Okay.
And it's got the Pride Night colors from their logo. It's kind of fun.
That's awesome.
You watch
So-
Sportsballs, right? You're a Sportsballs person?
Mm.
No?
No.
It's okay, neither am I. But I got the
I'm
hat.
a Super Bowl. Hey, I have sweet tickets. Then yes.
Mhm.
Yes, let's go because, oh my gosh, I was invited to the Seattle Seahawks suite and
Yeah.
I was like, this is life.
You're like club level.
Yes.
Mhm.
And they come
Third
in and they
floor.
give you food
Mm-hmm.
and alcohol. And I'm like, man, you could take a little nap
They got
over
comfy
here.
chairs, your
Yes.
own private bathroom.
Although
The
you know-
nicest people working there, too. They're the sweetest
Yes.
people.
but I don't know. I feel like you lose some of that positive vibe, that energy from the crowd.
Oh, I don't. I'm good. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of being a fan.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Alrighty then. Well then. So I need your advice on something.
Oh my. Oh, geez. What
How
did we
do
do
I
now?
deal with
What
a
did I do?
friend that triple books me?
A friend that triple books you?
Yes, constantly. Like my feelings are
Like
hurt.
you
How can
getting
I-
triple booked? So you've
Yes.
got to be in 3 different places?
No,
No.
they're booking 3 other appointments when they're supposed to be with me. How do I deal with that?
Well, you
Because
yeah.
2 weeks in a row they've done this to me. 2 weeks.
Veronica's talking about me, by the way,
Yeah.
just so we're all clear on what's actually happening here. Veronica's talking about me.
See,
Triple
I wasn't gonna name names, but
Right.
okay.
Uh-huh. So, but I did stop by for a little bit for the thing.
That's not the
Did
point.
I miss anything? I didn't
That-
miss anything.
It was our intentional time.
I know, but with 400 other people in the room.
But we make
This
it our
is intentional.
special time.
This is our special time.
This is
Veronica.
our fun time because
Yeah.
we can't really talk about all the things we want to talk about.
when we're
So
with
this-
other people. So technically, we're in private right now, talking about everybody. That's what we do. Mhm.
This is why so many people were like, "Oh, I want to be part of your podcast."
Mhm.
Like, no, it's called the Chris and Veronica
Yeah.
show.
If you're a part of the podcast, we would probably talk about you. So that's a whole thing. Yeah, no. So yes, I have been triple booked recently, quadruple booked in some cases. And for example, I'll point this out. Yesterday, there were 2 funerals on the same day. I mean, who does that? I mean, you would think that
It's the
people would
opposite
like
of, isn't it
coordinate.
like 4 weddings and a funeral?
4
Isn't
weddings
that-
and a funeral. Yeah. This is like, 2 funerals and a lot of hangout with people.
That is so sad.
But it's those kinds of things, right? Where like you can't really control what happens on the calendar sometimes. You just kind of go with it and you make it work. And so,
I'm the nagging work wife, so that was me nagging.
yeah. But all the events that you did this week, they were super fun. They were great.
So out of the funerals, how many people did you see that you hadn't seen in a long time?
Oh, quite a few. Yeah.
Isn't that sad that it's weddings and funerals?
I think
That's
it's
the
great.
only
I get to
time-
reconnect with people.
No, I mean
and-
that we should take that time
Yeah.
all the time. Hey, let's reconnect.
Did I mention the fact that I'm quadruple booked most of the time, Veronica?
true.
These
Very
are all
true.
things. Welcome to adulthood. We made it. Woohoo!
Good
yeah,
point.
part of it, I mean,
Good point.
I think too, we have people that are in our lives for seasons, right? And so when people are in your life for seasons, then, 10 or 15 years goes by and it could be geography. It could be that you're doing different things or they get like completely focused on their career or their
you hurt their
business or
feelings.
something. Yeah, intentionally pushing away because of something, right? Or like not unintentionally pushing away. So these are all things about like just adult relationships and what that looks like. And so for me, being able to see everybody is great, right? I'm on good terms with everybody. Like these are all things, right? Where you actually get to hang out with people and just be like, what are you up to? Like, let's reconnect and see what that looks like. And so from that, I've actually put quite a few things on the calendar. You're welcome. Quadruple booking again. The start of quadruple booking to be able to meet up with those folks and to be able to actually have some intentional sit down time to be able to just chit chat with them and see what's going on and
So
all
like,
that.
hey, how's life?
Yeah,
Where
I
did
have
we
some
leave
friends that got
off?
married and stuff too. And I was like, I've never met your spouse. Let's get together, just,
wow.
us spouses and just hang out and just like,
So this is my spouse down there.
yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. This is my 5'1" spouse. Can you see them all the way down there? Yes, you can.
Hello.
Hello.
I know I'm gonna get a call. You blankety blanks.
Yeah.
I hope the internet roasts you.
Pocket's going to call. It's just going to be a whole thing. Yes. Hi, Pocket. We see you.
But we love you.
Mhm. So, yeah. But I think weddings, funerals, that kind of thing, like depending on where we're at in our life, I'm on that, like probably the funeral side of things more so than the wedding side of things. Right. So yeah, more funerals than weddings. Yeah. Which side are you on? Do you get more wedding invitations, more funeral invitations? What's your thing?
I think here as of late, last year, oh my God, it's like everyone chose to get married. But then someone said, well, Veronica, COVID hit and everything was pushed back. So people that pushed back their weddings. And in my mind, I'm like, it doesn't get that serious. No, I'm going to save how much money again? No.
Yeah.
But I get it. I guess for me, it's more of the let's gather and eat and, have fun versus spending so much money on weddings. Do you know there was somebody that spent $100,000 on their wedding? And in my mind, I'm like, that's a quarter of a house.
Or more.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I would say like do what you will with your money. That's the first thing, right? If you find it important to be able to do that thing, go do that thing. I think, for example, for our wedding, we tried to do as many cost-cutting features as possible from it, right? So I think, there's different ways to be able to go about it, but I've also been part of or even put on weddings that are north of $1 million, right? So these are all things. Because remember, I used to be a West Coast director of sales for Intercontinental, right? And so I used to do, these are all things. So I used to participate a lot in not just that, but bar mitzvahs, and like all of these other types of
I didn't realize
activities.
how
It's a big deal.
Yes, my cousin, her daughters had her bar mitzvah, and oh my gosh, it was almost
Are
a
they
mix.
great? Like it's
It's a mix
it's
of
like a quinceañera,
yes,
and a
yes,
baptism, right?
yes,
It's like a combo.
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be Jewish now.
Right?
She's
Yeah.
like, no, you're past that age.
And I did a lot in the Persian community when I was in Los Angeles, right? And you talk about some extravagance, right? Like
So you
there's
say
a lot
that, I
that
could already
happens
know.
in that space.
Yes.
Like you have to know everything on the venue side. So on the event, when we talk about event planning, right? You have to know what kind of vehicles people are bringing in order to have the right type of valet there, to know that maybe even you have to redo the curbs coming into the valet parking spot, depending on the type of vehicles that they're bringing.
Wow.
Right. And so it's that type of detail where if they're booking out, let's call it 3 weeks in advance, and you only have 3 weeks to be able to redo the entire scape coming up, right? You take those 3 weeks to be able to redo that scape because of how large of a scale that type of event is, right? So that's just people arriving in their vehicles, let alone everything else that happens in the room and all the planning that happens around that. So yeah, it's those kinds of things where, I don't even know how we got on that, but yes, event planning and like saving money on weddings
More side
versus
on the funeral
spending more.
side now. Last year was more on the wedding side.
Yeah. But planning things, it's a whole, it takes a lot to be able to do those types of planning things, which is why like for the funerals, for weddings and all that, I try to make do as many as possible. I had to skip a wedding. I didn't intentionally skip it, but I did because I was sick like 2 weeks ago or like this past weekend or whatever. And I actually had a wedding on that day and a couple other things. So folks that got married, Yes. Hi. Sorry, I didn't make it. I know you already got the message and everything because Pocket
You're
did
still
go.
recovering. I can hear it.
Yeah, it's still like in there kind of. The new thing that's going around right now is kind of crazy. There's a lot like in that. My mom is pretty much down with pneumonia right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's been like laid up for almost a week and a half.
Oh.
And for me, like it was 3 really rough days with a lead up, and then this is now even a week plus a day later.
I think I don't know. I wish people would take care of themselves and their bodies. It's the only one you have, but it's not anymore that mentality. Oh, I don't feel well, but still let me go into the office. No, keep your germs at home.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, thank you for saying.
Well, we are at home, and my germs are here. So I've literally she came through and she's like, "Looks like you've had a very productive morning." And I was like, "Last weekend I was not feeling well, and so today I decided I would go through and just like clean everything. Like I'm doing the dishes, I'm doing all the laundry, I'm doing all the bedding, I'm wiping down like every surface, every doorknob, like everything."
That's what I do after once I recover, I feel I'm recovering. Pillowcases, everything, and I switch out the cases to the pillows, everything. Yeah. Everything gets Lysol, the bed, everything. Kwan's like, I think you have enough Lysol. I'm like, are you sure? Because you can still talk.
There's more. Yeah. Yeah. And like I went through, I think it was probably on like I had a random time where I had like an hour and a half or something, or it was like 45 minutes.
What?
I know, it was random. And I was at home for that period, and I was like, I'm going to go in, and I used like this special spray stuff in the bathroom to be able to like spray it in there. So it's the homemade one where you take a little bit of like the Dawn or dish soap, a little bit of the vinegar, and then the warm water, and you just kind of mix it together. You don't shake it or anything, but you mix it together, and then you spray it on. You leave it for about half hour. Then you go back and scrub everything, right? So I went and did that like just maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. And then today is the actual, like, we're going to go in and like wipe down more and like all of that. So I did like an original clean. Do you do that too? Like an original clean before the actual clean, like a deep clean and then a clean and like that kind of thing?
Yes. Well, you have to, because you have to maintain. Our kitchen we have one outlet in our kitchen. That's the vintage apartment.
Yeah.
But I love my bay windows. But there's no vent. So whenever I'm cooking, whatever, even where the Ninja Foodie is, because, you do the pressure release with the pressure cooker.
Right.
So
they still freak me out.
Yeah, I know they
They're going to, yeah.
So I didn't notice. I'm like, what is that? And it's from the steam. Right. So I have to go and make sure I clean it. And
because it's like an oily steam, right?
Yeah.
Like not just a steam.
Exactly. Exactly. From all the foods that I'm cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a tort this morning.
I know, it was so delicious.
So good. We were talking about the difference between a casserole and a tort, and then the other one was like a skillet, where it's like a skillet.
There's a name frittata.
Frittata.
There we go.
Oh, with the phyllo on top, and then you flip it?
I have no idea. I just know when it says frittata, I'm like, no, I'm not going to make that. No. So I just skipped that recipe.
Yeah.
So that's what I was asking. Like, ooh, what is the difference between, all those things? Because here we are still. You're welcome, Pocket. We're still learning. Casserole, tort. Like, what makes it a tort? A quiche is.
Quiche, yeah. Yeah. This could also be technically a quiche.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But it's actually more of a tort than a quiche.
But what makes it more of a tort than a quiche?
So the type of pan, the pastry, the type of pastry that it is.
It was delicious.
Oh, thanks.
I like more.
It's my grandmother's recipe on the pastry. Hi, Grandma. Yeah.
You do. Oh my gosh. What is it that you made me that was just the buttery flakes? Like, oh my God, this is so good. You made, was it the croissants?
Oh, croissants. Yeah.
Yes. When you made those croissants, I'm like, this is so good.
So tasty.
Yes. Yeah. I don't even want, you spoiled me. You ruined me for Costco.
You're welcome. That's what I do. People can probably hear, I am multitasking right now. So when you hear the laundry dinging bell go off, I'm doing laundry as well. And you can probably hear it in the background right now. It's not a siren. They're not coming to get us. It's just the laundry.
Not yet.
Yeah. They're coming to take us away. Oh my, they're coming to take us away. What is that? It's like I want to say it's where the sidewalk ends. There was like one of those things in Where the Sidewalk Ends.
No.
You've never read this? Okay, never mind.
No.
We'll read it someday. Yes. I will show you all the poems. Oh my, it's up to my thigh.
That's a poem?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the boa constrictor.
Oh. Well then. Yes. Yes,
I think it's
I
Shel
want to be educated too.
Yeah, Silverstein. Silverstein.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
She does. Mm-hmm. What else are we talking about today? There's a lot of things.
I don't know. What was the best day of last week for you? And what do you consider best?
Oh, so these are all things. I don't know. Did I have a good day last week? Yes, probably. I think every day is kind of a good day, right? These are all things.
Oh, well,
I don't think one stands out more than the other. How about you?
Yesterday was the best day because as I was leaving, I was invited to this BIPOC ED collective, and it's made for nonprofit leaders. And as I was leaving, I couldn't grasp what it was. And I finally talked to the other person that I was leaving with, and I said, I realized what it was. I haven't been in a room where everybody is intentionally kind and open, and that energy, usually you find some compassionate people, empathic, but this one was so intentional. It was like, oh my gosh.
And in the leadership space, right?
Yes.
It's one of those, like, for executive directors, for chairs of boards, for all of these things. I had this conversation quite a bit this past week, just based on some other stuff. And the idea that it's very lonely at the top, right? And there's a lot of times that you can't share the things that you're doing with others based on what's happening within the organization or that kind of thing. And so being at the top of that, right, there's really nobody that you can go to other than other cohorts of people to be able to do generic conversations, but nobody can truly understand what the thing is.
Yes.
Right? It's part of the reason why when people ask me, like, what do you do? I'm like,
you don't know.
I'd love, right? I would love to tell you, but I can't, right? Like the amount of confidentiality that I have, like I brought somebody on board, right? And I literally told her, I was like, just so you know, you can't be in any meetings with me, right? Like that's just not a thing. If I am in a meeting that is out in public or something and things are happening, like this happened on Friday night. I was meeting with a client that was out in public, and I was meeting with some people ahead of that. And I told them, I said, I need to turn over at this time because this next person that's coming, we're going to be having some, serious conversations about some stuff. And the two people that I was with before were still there after we started started talking about some stuff. And I looked at both of them and I was like, I love you both, but you've both got to go. This is your moment. This is the time. You can sit at another table across the room. Happy to do that. Keep the tab open. I'll pay for it. That's all fine. I just need you away from this table.
But did you invite those, or they just happened to be there, those two other people?
I invited them for the meetings ahead of time with the intention, and they knew that I had the next
That's
meeting.
what I was going to say. Yeah. As long as I think you tell someone, hey, by the way, I'm with you until 1:00, but I'm not going to leave the table. I'm asking you nicely. Can you please leave the table?
Yeah.
Kind of like humorous, but there's no other way of saying it.
Yeah. And that's where it's like setting it out originally and setting out the intention originally with people to be like, hey, yes, we are meeting. Yes, it is a thing. Yes, we have an hour. Right. And we ended up going over probably by about 30 minutes. So it was about an hour and a half with them. Gotcha. And, but yeah, that kind of thing.
Well, not only that, but people don't realize that is what makes you successful, right? I had a client say, I come to you because you truly mean that you're the same across the board. Mm-hmm. I said, yes, I have to be, right? You can't do a favoritism. You can't, because that kind of puts what you do in jeopardy. Yeah. They want your clients want to know, hey, Chris is going to value my privacy as much as he values everyone else's.
Yeah. And even though it's like a public conversation, right? Like we are in public, right? This is not in a private office, right? We're sitting at a winery or something like that to be able to have this conversation. But the intentionality is there for the two of us to have that conversation together, to not have outside input at that point.
Yes.
Because it's more important to be able to understand where each other is happening at, right? And be like, oh, I understand what you're saying, right? Also, this is what I'm saying. And let's figure out where that meets in the middle. And do you understand this concept? And if I'm going to somebody and saying, do you understand this concept? And then all of a sudden somebody else interjects from the outside, right? That there's a loss in that moment because the silence is filled by somebody who feels like there shouldn't be silence. Right. And for me, I feel like there should be silence and the opportunity for people to be able to do so.
My screen has a red frame around it now.
Well, it means it's recording.
Oh,
your video.
I never noticed
We're
that.
We're looking at the video screen. So we have the multicam kind of setup here and multi-camera setup. And Veronica has a Sony ZV-1F, I think is what it is. But you hit record and then There's a
I
little
just
red
now
box
noticed.
that
Oh,
comes
look
around
at that.
it.
It's a good thing I'm pretty. Anyways, yay! Because I heard a beep and I'm like, what is that in my battery? Like I start looking for all the things, all the icons.
Yeah, and then mine's like a GoPro Hero something, 14, 12, 13. I can't remember.
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then here we go. No.
Okay. Well, that's been great. So that's the first episode. Now both dings have gone off for the washer and the dryer. So I should go change over the washer and dryer.
Because we don't want wrinkles.
Come back to this. Yeah.
I know you would never do wrinkles.
I would never.
No, I would be like, what is wrong with you? What happened?
Right.
Who are you? Did you get taken by the pod? The pod people? Remember Invasion of the Pods?
Turning out the music. That's our goodbye music.
Well then, goodbye.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We're going to have another episode coming up pretty soon. My name is Chris. This is...
Hey, it's Veronica.
Find us at chrisandveronica.com and on all the socials, the Chris and Veronica Show or Chris and Veronica Show, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. There's a place. YouTubes. All the tubes of you. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, chrisandveronica.com. Okay, bye. Woohoo.